My mystery school is called Immortology, which means the study of immortality. It is neither atheism nor religion. It is neither belief nor disbelief. It is neither reincarnation nor heaven and hell. It is neither attachment to life nor denial of life. It is neither hedonism nor frugality. It is neither hurry nor laziness. It is remembering death and remembering deathlessness. It is enjoying life without getting attached to it. It is accepting life and accepting death. It is knowing mortality and knowing immortality. It is dying and being reborn in this life. It is knowing who you are and who you are not. It is the separation of the false from the truth and the merging of opposites. In a mystery school, you not only learn about yourself, but experience yourself as well. You gain true knowledge about the deepest secrets of life through discourses, rituals, and meditations. For this week, the most important lesson is to question all your beliefs and throw away everything you didn't experience for yourself. Forget what you learned so far about life. Forget what you think you know, and especially forget who you are. Don't believe others, don't believe in others, and don't believe in yourself. Don't believe the scriptures, don't believe in God, and don't believe even me. Don't create a problem out of life, don't create a philosophy, and don't create a self-image. These only take you further away from the truth. Don't try to gather your knowledge from books, because that is worth nothing. Instead, experience everything for yourself firsthand. Experiment with the methods I am giving you, and don't think about them. Just try them, and you can judge them afterwards, but never before. After your psychological death, a new entity is born. You used to be a seeker, and now you are a mystic. You lost everything, and now you may be experiencing the dark night of the soul. The real seeking can start only now. You have to totally empty your mind of all the false beliefs that were given to you. You have to doubt everything, even the most obvious things in the world, and accept nothing as a fact before you examined it on your own. From now on, a new path is starting for you. A path that is more authentic, genuine, and challenging, but also more rewarding and joyful. This is the spiritual path that will let you really know life, know God, know yourself, and that they are ultimately all the same. After the previous module, blindly believing in life after death could be your last resort to deny death. However, believing that there is no life after death is also a huge mistake. Religious people believe in some kind of afterlife, while atheists believe in death. One side believes, the other side disbelieves, but they are both wrong. The question is not to believe or not to believe. The question is to believe or to know. The question is whether something is your own direct experience or not. Because when you believe, it means you don't really know. When you already know, you don't need belief at all. Most of the information in your head comes not from your own direct experience, but from somebody else. So 90% of your knowledge cannot even be called knowledge. A more proper word would be a belief system. Only the remaining 10% is real knowledge, because you know it, not just think that you know it. This 10% comes from the experiences of your own life, and not borrowed from someone else. Throw away the rest, because not only is it unnecessary, but a hindrance as well. If you believe something, you won't be motivated to know it firsthand. You accept the belief and forget to question it. You keep the fake, but you throw away the real. You only have an idea about the truth, and you mix up the idea with the truth itself. Beyond religion and atheism, mysticism is the third way. Mystics have always worked with doubt instead of belief. They value direct knowledge over indirect information. Mystics are neither believers nor disbelievers. They are non-believers because they have no beliefs. They may have a hypothesis, but they always try to find out for themselves whether it is true or not. They doubt everything in life, and this is how they get to the bottom of it. I want you to throw away all your belief systems about the afterlife because it is the greatest barrier to facing death. Instead, get rid of the fear of death at your core by experiencing directly that there is no death. You don't need any afterlife because you are already immortal. You just have to realize it. Death is one of the biggest illusions of life. But if you believe in your ego, you will believe in death too. Death is the shadow of the ego, and the ego itself is a shadow of awareness. Yes, the body dies, but you are not your body. You have seen only the death of the body of another person, but you don't know what happens to his being. The atheist believes in death, believes in the idea of one life that lasts from birth to death. So he lives his whole life in a hurry because he thinks that after death, everything ends and there is nothing more. Almost the whole West spends its life in deep materialism, collecting money and chasing pleasure. As pleasure is the only form of happiness they know, many people become hedonistic. They do enjoy life, but they get attached to it out of fear and suffer when loss occurs. On the other hand, religious people believe in afterlife, one part of them in reincarnation, the other part in heaven and hell. No matter which side they take, religious people sacrifice this life for another one that may never come. Belief in afterlife is a consolation for the ego that after all, it can live forever. In the afterlife, you can keep your personality, you won't change. Only the world changes around you. So the ego loves the idea of the afterlife. Even if this life is miserable, it doesn't matter, because in another one, you may fulfill all of your desires. Even if you suffered all your life, you would triumph in the end because you deserve to go to heaven. But these are only beliefs, and at the very core of your being, you know this. Even if you believe in afterlife, you are afraid of death. Belief in afterlife makes people lazy and unmotivated. Why take action today when tomorrow will always come? They spend all their life waiting for death. You deny this life which is here and now for an empty promise that may never come in the future. If you cannot enjoy this life, why do you think you will enjoy the afterlife? Heaven and hell don't exist as objective realities. They are not a real place somewhere. These two places represent the two extremes of the mind. They exist in your head, inside you. Heaven and hell are psychological states. Hell is built on fear, while heaven is built on desire. You project all your fears and negative experiences to hell, and all of your unfulfilled fantasies and desires to heaven. You may not know heaven yet, but you perfectly know hell. You will have to go beyond both to know real happiness. But to go beyond something, you have to know it first. Heaven could exist on this very earth, but you turn it into hell. Just imagine what kind of life you would have in heaven. Everything you wished for would turn into reality. You would have a comfortable life, and you would have to do only what you really wanted to do. You would probably get bored of sitting on a cloud and playing on a harp quite soon though. Instead, you would spend a lot of time with your friends, you would enjoy their company, enjoy playing, and enjoy the moment. You wouldn't have to think about the past nor worry about the future. You would know that you are here forever and nothing bad can happen to you. You would have a deep inner confidence that everything about the world and about you is all right. In heaven, you would not have to fight or suffer for anything. You would only have to take what is meant for you. Heaven abundantly offers you all its fruits. Your only task is to accept and enjoy them. Start living as if you were already in heaven, and you will create heaven on earth. This is an easy, natural process because the basic nature of earth supports this. However, you turn it into hell with all your fears, desires, judgments, ideologies, and violent ambitions. This heaven is so abundant that there is a place for everybody inside it, You don't have to take away anything from anyone. Envy doesn't even arise in you because you will inevitably receive what you really need. If you haven't received it yet, it can mean two things. You don't really need it, you just think that you need it. Or it can mean that you could not accept it yet, subconsciously. If you see anything in life that you feel attracted to, just start moving towards it. If you feel that you would like to do something, just do it. If you would like to get something, just open your hands towards it. What attracts you, what interests you, is only waiting for you to be able to accept it and enjoy it. Your task is not suffering, only pleasure. You suffer exactly because you think that you have to suffer for something. You feel you have to deserve it to get it. But this is not true. The fact that you're alive means you deserve life and everything that comes with it. Life itself is the greatest gift in life. Life itself is the reward and not a goal to something else. Every moment is the goal itself, and every moment you are already at the finish line. You don't have to reach anything, you don't have to change, you don't have to become anyone, and you don't have to suffer. You only have to enjoy the reward. You already reached your destination. You only have to accept that you don't need to do anything for happiness. But this is really difficult for you because you are living inside your mind as an ego. The mind is constantly looking for goals, and the ego always wants to become bigger and stronger. The mind projects happiness into the future. It cannot exist without goals. You believe that by reaching something, you will be happy. But the future never comes. Even if you reach something, you will create new goals by then. And then you will believe you have to reach these new goals to be happy. Happiness is a horizon that your mind can always see but never able to reach. When you start the spiritual path, you change your material desires to immaterial ones, but the desiring remains the same. The ego tells you to reach enlightenment, and then you will be perfectly happy forever. But how could you become enlightened when you are already enlightened? The desire to reach enlightenment prohibits you to reach it. Everyone has his own unique heaven because everyone is interested in and attracted by different things. Happiness means different things for different people. This means that you can create the perfect life for yourself, the way you feel good in this world, and enjoy yourself. But this outer world is always mirroring your inner world. The outer heaven is always unique because its source is your individuality. But the inner heaven, real happiness, is the same for everyone because its source is oneness. Now, there are others who say there is no heaven and hell, only previous and next lives. The theory of reincarnation says that you have a personal soul that gets reincarnated in a new body again and again. You never die. You only change your body, and every time you forget your past lives. The process of reincarnation is based on the law of karma. It states that if you collect good deeds in this life, your next life will be better. This time, the fear manifests as a bad life instead of hell, and the desire manifests as a good life instead of heaven. But the fear and the desire are the same. The outcome is that the believers in reincarnation never start on the path of self-realization. If you have infinite time, why hurry? However, when Buddha spoke about rebirth, his goal was just the opposite. He wanted to show you that life after life, you have been seeking money, power, and prestige, and you are doing the same stupidity in this life too. Why play the same game 1,000th time and get nowhere in the end again, like always? He wanted you to get bored of this repetitive nonsense and finally discover who you really are, right here and right now. I have met some Buddhists collecting good deeds out of fear. They did good not because they felt it was the right thing to do, but because they were already thinking of their next life. If you become totally conscious, you will do good things just because you want to do them. Because you feel it at your core that it is the right thing to do. When you are conscious, you cannot help yourself but do good and be good only. The effects will come back to you immediately. They don't wait another life. On a certain level of consciousness, rebirth does exist. You bring with you all the desires and fears to your next life according to your patterns. But on a higher level of consciousness, even rebirth and the notion of a personal soul are illusions. On the ultimate level, everything is one and nothing is divided. Everything is universal and nothing is personal. Even the soul is dead. The ultimate reality is that everything is happening inside consciousness. Every experience of life of every person of every generation is a different expression of consciousness. You are this consciousness itself. I showed you that the belief in your personality, in your heroism, and in afterlife are not real. I took away every illusion from you, so now the ego is convulsively trying to find a last grip. But your ego cannot hide from me in any corner. The belief in God is the last belief we have to destroy. Or did you really think that I would leave at least the idea of God for you? When the ego feels limited and mortal in itself, it turns to something unlimited and immortal, God. The ego needs support, and its biggest support can come from God. After the personality is weakened, you may feel lonely, empty, and insignificant. These are exactly the feelings you wanted to avoid with the help of the personality. Now that you lost all grips, you turn to the most powerful one, the idea of God. You cannot touch it or even see it, and exactly that is why this idea is so powerful. But you use faith, just like you used your personality, to give yourself a false belief system. Now, the belief in God gives meaning to your life in the face of death. You may feel that now you really transcended your personality, but until the belief stays a belief, the transcendence is false. It is not enough to believe in God, you have to know God. And to know Him, you have to be Him. Belief in God is the barrier to God. Kill God to be God. The idea of God separates you from God. The only way to reach Him is to kill Him first in your own mind. The belief in God is such a dangerous lie because it is a half-truth. God is and is not at the same time. Your ego intuitively feels that there is something larger beyond it. This is the true part. The false part is that you imagine God as a person. You give a personality to God because you cannot comprehend how it is possible to live without a personality. You cannot see beyond yourself. Besides, as you live in a divided reality, you think that God is somewhere outside. Until you see yourself as a person divided from the world, you will see God divided from you too. But the reality is that God is inside you, just like the whole world. Searching for God, you are searching for yourself. You are the God who is creating the world, including the belief in God and the belief in your own personality. Believing in God means a step back in the evolution of your consciousness, while knowing God is a step forward. Since your early childhood, you have been trying to become independent from your parents, then from your teachers, and then from your bosses. You want to be an independent person, but the personality always depends on others. You want to create yourself intrinsically, but the ego is always created from the outside. When you become religious, you give up the fight for independence. You become like a child again, but in a wrong way. You don't become childlike, you become childish. In your prayers, you ask something from God, just like you begged for something from your parents, and when He doesn't give it to you, you become angry. God takes the place of your parents. You give up responsibility, but also your freedom. Taking responsibility for your own life is too much for you. Your unconscious emotions pull you into situations you don't understand. Then, you say it was misfortune or luck. You think God must have wanted it to happen. Now God is responsible for your life, not you. If something bad happens, you become frustrated and blame God. In contrast, being childlike means looking at the world with fresh and innocent eyes and admiring the beauty of creation with awe. It means living in oneness again. You perceive the world, but don't label it. You don't have any thoughts of your experiences. The mind doesn't come in between you and the world. When you really grow up, you take full responsibility for your life. You know that you created the life you are living right now. Not your parents, not your upbringing, not your teachers, not your circumstances, not your astrological sign, not your character, not your neighbors, not your partner, not your destiny, not your karma, and not even God. You are responsible and no one else. Full responsibility is the price you have to pay to become an independent, authentic, and free human being. But it is very hard to be authentically free because the whole society wants to enslave and thus control you in one way or another. They take the responsibility for you. They let you depend on them. They make you attached to them. And this is their cunning, although often unconscious trick to make you do what they want. And when you grow up, you are playing the same game with others, with your spouse, with your children, with your employees. Don't possess anyone, and don't be possessed by anyone. Don't try to control anybody, and don't let anybody control you. Don't get attached to nobody, and don't let nobody get attached to you. Total freedom means the total lack of control, dependence, and attachment in all dimensions of life. Physical slavery was in existence for thousands of years, when human beings were bought and sold like a commodity. Fortunately, the culture has changed, but there are still remnants of this kind of slavery today in the form of racial and gender discrimination. Poverty is the modern form of physical slavery. Just like slaves, the poor are fighting for survival each and every day. If they stop working, they won't have anything to eat. They can lose their shelter almost any time. The only difference is that modern slaves are not aware that they are slaves. While traditional slaves got food and shelter directly for their labor, the modern workforce gets money in exchange and then spends it for food and shelter. Really, the difference is only direct versus indirect. But the introduction of money into the equation creates an illusion of freedom. Are you really free if you depend on your boss, on your job, on your clients? Are you free to make a break, to make a vacation whenever you want? Are you really free to fulfill all your needs without checking the prices all the time? For me, financial freedom is an essential component of breaking away from the bondage of society. Not many people are financially free, but even less are free psychologically. Psychological slavery means being bound to negative emotional patterns and limiting beliefs. Most of the work we have done so far served to liberate you from your own mental prison. Soon, we will go even further and discuss how conditioning works and how to get rid of it completely. Finally, we can talk about spiritual slavery versus spiritual freedom. Almost all religions want to enslave you spiritually, otherwise the priests would lose their jobs. Not only cults, but even world religions are built on fear, separation, and dependence. Their basic idea is that you are separate from a God, from an ideal self, from perfection. They condemn you, make you feel guilty about it, make you a sinner. They say that you can only repent if you do this or that, and that salvation is possible only through them. This way, they make you depend on them one way or another, while you lose the natural, authentic connection to yourself. In contrast, spiritual freedom means a liberation from your personality, and with it, from organized religion. It means the end of separation. because you become one with God, with your higher self, with the whole universe. It means the end of suffering, because there is no sin, nothing to repent and nothing to reach. It means the end of dependence, because you are able to finally stand on your own, without any outside acknowledgement, without craving attention and love. This is the final liberation that's waiting for you at the end of the journey.